Does the pastor only convene the council when he's got a question? Excellent. It's an excellent and a very subtle question because, of course, you know, if you ask any group of pastors, including those who don't have a council, some pastors would say, well, I don't have anything to consult about. My revenue's up. Parishioners are attending Mass. I get no great complaints. Everything seems to be going well. Why do I need the headache of a pastoral council? And of course, that seems like a very common sense position to take. But I wonder whether it's really a common sense position. And I ask that question because of this. Who doesn't need wisdom? Who's got enough wisdom? Whose parish can't improve? Where does the Spirit not need to grow? So any pastor who's not asking those questions is in effect answering it by saying, I don't need more Spirit, I don't need more wisdom, I don't need more prudence, I don't need more advice. I'm fine. And if that's the case, I would say, don't start a council. Because if you do, I can tell you what it's going to be like. You'll meet once a month. And it might be a very nice and convivial setting. You'll tell your people about what's going on, and they'll tell you what's going on. And at the end of the 90 minutes, everybody will get up and there'll be a little closing prayer, and everybody will go off home and say, well, at least that's over. But if you want more Spirit, if you want a deeper sense of wisdom, if you want to discern where your parish is going, if you want to build for the future, then you've got to think about how you're going to make that happen. And the way you're going to make it happen is by becoming like someone whom every priest has to study, but it's so early in the seminary career that you usually forget about it by the time you get ordained. And that's Socrates in the Platonic dialogues. Socrates in the dialogues of Plato. It's a wonderful story. The oracle at Delphi said, Socrates is the wisest man. And when Socrates heard this, he said, how could they say this about me? Me, wise? I'm not a poet. I'm not a politician. I'm not an artisan. My skills are so limited. How could I be wise? And then, said Socrates, it came to me. I have a special kind of wisdom. I know that I don't know everything. And that's what made him the wisest man. And that's why I speak about the Socratic spirituality of the Catholic pastor who consults because he knows he doesn't know everything. Now that's a special kind of knowledge, because when you know that you don't know everything, you are very much aware of your shortcomings. And so when you're aware of your shortcomings, you can turn them into questions. And your questions can become questions for the Pastoral Council. They can be questions like the question of Father Staley. Do I need a social justice committee? They can be questions like Father Bunny. Does my parish really need an outreach to Africa? They can be questions like Father Gannon. Should I continue with my project of creating a parish social hall, or should I renovate the sanctuary of the church? It all begins with a question. So, in answer to your question, Father John, does the council only meet when the pastor has a question? I would say the answer is yes. Don't meet if you don't have a question, because it's going to be frustrating for you and frustrating for the people. But if you know where you'd like your parish to grow, but you don't quite know how to do it, if you know that you need a new ministry, but you don't quite know how to establish it, If you've got cultures in your parish that need to be united, but you don't quite know how to unite them, or you've got pastoral needs that you don't quite know how to address, or you've got ministries that you don't quite know how you're going to coordinate them, all of those could be the subject matter for the Pastoral Council.